please allow recording or however they do it? Thanks. So I want to introduce Jessica. I saw your name on your card, but I didn't get your last name. Oh, yeah.
Jessica is okay.
My name is Michael Ring. I am the co-owner of Ring Academy. Armina Hansen is my co-owner of that. And then I also own Go Global Realty Las Vegas, which we're in our conference room right now. And then I also own Go Global Realty Mexico, which is based out of Cancun, but I hide out in Playa de Carmen a lot more. Robert came to me and said he met this fantastic loan officer. Am I correct for your title?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic loan officer. She is a mortgage broker in our language. She doesn't work for a specific company. She works with multiple companies, which then gives the borrower more opportunities.
Yes, that's correct.
So this is Jessica. And Jessica, how do you say your last name again?
Carvajal.
So there's Jessica. And then I also, after Jessica speaks, we're going to have Robert Vargas talk to us about Riviera Maya and discuss about the opportunities in Riviera Maya. And then on the Zoom, up in the corner, I feel like it's the Brady Bunch, we have Irvin Bastillos. Did I say it right?
No.
No.
Never. You never will. Irvin Bustillos. Nice to meet you, everybody.
We'll talk about obtaining your Mexican real estate license as a U.S. citizen or Canadian citizen, or even as a German citizen, it doesn't matter, outside of Mexico. What are the options of you obtaining? I'm currently on the path to get my real estate license. Irvin's closer to it. He just has to finish up on some paperwork. And then Robert's going to be down in Playa next week, 2 weeks from today, right?
Yep.
2 weeks from today. That's when my next class is. So if you're interested, I will be offering the classes online, and I'll take out the first, how do you say it? Misinformation. You don't have to speak Spanish or take the test in Spanish. Okay? Because I can't, as Jessica found out, I do not speak Spanish. All right. But yeah, I already been through the course, the course and passed the test. I just have to get documentation, which, by the way, welcome to Mexico. You have to have lots of documentation to get my matricular, which is the process of getting the physical license. So I've already passed my test. I've already gone through what they would call the hard part. I think the second part's the harder part, getting all the paperwork aligned. And that is for Canton Road, Route. How does it wrong?
Quintana Road.
And that's another person that doesn't speak fluent Spanish that does a better job than I do, correcting me. But let's talk about my favorite subject, because I am a licensed loan officer in the United States, so I am a cohort of yours. Okay. I do not do it in Mexico. You're safe. I don't want to do it in Mexico. So I don't want my mortgage license in Mexico or anything like that, because it's a much different process, even though they're very similar, but it's different.
Yes.
Yes. So Jessica was so nice to take a break from her vacation here. Your first time to Las Vegas.
My first time, yes.
Yes. We got her off the strip. So that was good. She knows how there's more than just a strip in Las Vegas. Even though she lives in Cancun, which is kind of Vegas-y. I go down there a lot. I mean, it has a lot of tall buildings and on this hotel by the beach. It kind of feels like the strip in a way. But she is now going to talk to us, and you don't have to get up, the microphone's right there, and explain to us how to obtain a mortgage I have to take it away. I'll just let you teach it.
Okay, thank you very much. Nice to meet you, everybody. My name is Jessica, and I live in Cancun. My company is called Freedom Consultores, and what we do is to help our customers to obtain their best option in a financing, so they can invest in Mexico, they can buy properties in Mexico without living there or working there. So I want to show you first a short video so you can know who we are. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here.
Who are we? FIDEM is a consultant business expert in real estate investment in Mexico. We have a full team of experts that will accompany you and will advise you on every step of the road to get a house in Mexico, specifically in Riviera Maya. Not only will you get the credit for buying your dream house, but also you will have a safe and personalized attention and process. Also, you will be advised by people who know and really understand real estate in Mexico. And in FIDEM, we understand and are closely related to notary process, foreign affairs, Mexican law, financial institutions, among other areas that are important to buy a house safely in Mexico. So tell me, what are you waiting for to get your dream house in the Caribbean paradise?
So, well, this is a short presentation about who we are. We can help your customers not only with the mortgage, but in the whole process that means the first call and until they sign your deeds. So all the process and everything that your customer needs to know, we will help you. We will help them also. And we work hand by hand with the realtors. So I hope that everybody knows about Cancun and Riviera Maya. And if you don't, I encourage you to visit Cancun, to visit Riviera Maya. And Robert will explain you about what can you do and what can you buy and invest there. So about the mortgages, about what we do is to help your customers having financing without this trouble and that problem that they usually can have, because as Michael told, the process is pretty different from the one that you are used to have here in the United States. So first of all, I want to explain you how the financial market and the economic situation in Mexico is, because it is very, very important for you to know that the interest rates in Mexico are different than the ones that you are used to know here. Actually, the Mexican rate is 11.27% annually. This is the interest rate that is fixed by the Mexican bank, Banco de Mexico. And the mortgages are more or less in that rate. So you can have a mortgage with a rate between 11%, and we have rates of 14%, not for you, but other kind of customers. We in FIDEM Consultores work with the most important banks in Mexico and also have alliances with other financial companies that help our customers to obtain a mortgage. Because in Mexico, the banking is not open right now for foreign customers who don't work or don't live in Mexico. So we've been searching for these kind of companies who can give us this chance and help our customers to obtain these mortgages. So, down. Okay, so we have more than 10 years of experience in the banking area. We have also experience in global markets, business banking, Harmony, and specifically the real estate market. These kind of loans can be used not only for the US or Canada. If you have clients from every part of the world, this is not a problem. We can help them. We have different kind of mortgages according to the nationality or the country they live in and the kind of property that they are going to buy. We work with a personal agent for every customer. We are also accessible and we are also safe. It is very important that you feel comfortable, that your clients will be safe and will be treated in the best way, in a professional way. With the loans that we have, your clients kind of acquire any kind of property that they want to. It can be a house, it can be a condo, it can be also land if they want to invest in land or in commercial premises or maybe offices to rent. It is a very good investment that they can do. This is the services that we can offer to your customers. And I divide the loans in two kinds of loans. The first one is the pre-construction mortgage, is for properties that are in the process of being built. And this is a very good opportunity for your customers because they will buy the property in a less price than if they buy the properties when the property is already finished. So they will have a very good capital gain if they decide to invest in this kind of property. The second kind of mortgage is the immediate delivery mortgage. And the last service that we offer is the closing services. That means that maybe your client buy the property in cash, but they want help with this process of closing, of signing deeds, or looking for a notary, and all these things that are need to be done. We can help them with that too. Okay, so I will explain this very, very fast because I don't want you to get bored. I know that you won't be experts in that part because we will help them, but I want you to know what kind of loans that your customers can get. This first part is for the pre-construction. We have two kind of loans, one in Mexican pesos and one in US dollars. In this case, we will ask for a 40% down payment. This 40% will be paid directly to the seller, to the developer in that case. And we have up to 36 months to finish the construction of the property. So we can continue with this formalization process of signing the deeds. And after that happens, the financing company will pay the 60%. That will be the loan. In this case, the interest rate is 11%. That, as I told you before, it's a good rate for Mexico. And it is a 9-year term loan. It is a short-term loan, but the monthly payments are not so high because the customer already paid this 40% of down. So
it's a 9-year amortization.
yes.
Is it interest only or
Principal payment.
includes principal?
Yes, includes principal and interest.
Do you guys offer like interest only?
No, all the Mexican plans work with principal and interest payment. The advantage that you have in all our plans is that the rates are fixed.
So it's
And
fixed for 9 years.
yes,
That is pretty valuable.
yes. And that you can do payments in advance whenever you want. So you can pay your loan in the time that you decide. And there are
So there's
no,
what we say here, because not in Nevada, it's on a loan officer here, we have a no prepayment, you can pay your loan up in time. Other states, if you pay too
Mhm.
fast, you get a penalty,
yes, that's correct.
so you don't have that.
No, we don't have any penalty if you do prepayments. So this is a very good advantage also.
What happens if the home isn't built in 36 months?
If that happens for some,
Strange reason.
it's, yes, we ask the financing company for, I don't know how to tell that, like an extension of this, but this is not a problem.
Okay.
Normally in Mexico, it's between, what we say, 14 to 20 months.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a custom home on a custom lot, you keep changing things and making it difficult. I mean, 36 months is still a pretty good time. It's 3 years.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes, it's the average time that the construction takes. But if for some reason it takes more than 36 months, we can ask for an extension. So there is no problem for that. And with that pre-construction loan, we can finance also, if the customer want to, the closing costs. That means the notary fees and part of the appraisal fees and other fees that you need to pay. Okay, so we have also this pre-construction loan with US dollars and Canadian dollar plan. In this case, we will ask you for a 30% down payment. The interest rate is 11.9%. It is also a fixed rate. We can obtain up to 30 years in this loan if you want like a longer term. Also, you have 36 months to finish the construction of the property. And the advantage of this plan is that the payments, the interest payments that the customer will do can be deductible from your tax returns. So this is very good.
And you also do Canada, because we do have clients in
Yes.
Canada.
Yes,
So
this,
you do US and Canada, both set up in the same system, so Canadian dollars, if it's Canadian.
yes, yes, you can choose if you want to pay in US dollars or in Canadian dollars.
And just let everybody know, normally on pre-construction down there, 30% is what the developer requires down payment anyways. So they've aligned themselves with this program.
That's correct.
And my next question was on the other one that you had, which was 40% down.
Mhm.
The 10% cannot be paid at the end when closing's happening.
Yes,
Yeah, so it's just bringing 10% to closing.
that's
Again,
correct.
most developers don't require over 30, I have very few I know
30,
require 30. Some,
mhm.
may, if you're trying to get a better deal, a better price.
Yes.
They have to put more money down.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
So that's an interesting one, sorry, I'm a mortgage person as well, so I come up with these wild questions. Let's say, because Robert is a very good and Urban are very good salesmen down there. And say the person says they want to put down 50%. To get the discount for the prices, because the builders do that.
Yeah,
The more you put down, the lower the price goes, because that's more cash up front that they're comfortable with. Is there a way to do a cash back at closing, because you're gonna finance 45, 60%?
a
To the-
cashback, no, but we can finance other costs, like maybe these closing costs can be included in the loan.
Okay, I see it's restructuring it that way to
Mhm.
offset.
Yes, we can move the numbers, we can do these calculations, so we can include these
Closing costs,
closing
They don't
costs.
understand yet, because
Oh.
it's different than here.
Yes,
Yeah, so, okay.
okay, so what advantage do we can find in these mortgages? First of all, as I told you, a fixed rate during the entire loan. You have up to 36 months to complete the down payment that was you'll be asking. You can do prepayments whenever you want without any penalty. The mortgage can be in Mexican pesos, US dollars, or Canadian dollars if you want to. You don't need to have a Mexican residence. You don't need to have a credit history in Mexico, any kind of document from Mexico. And we are very flexible with the income verification. We have options with that.
One of the questions I want to ask you, when you say Mexican, US, and Canadian dollars, how do you handle the exchange rate? Because this product is going to be sold to in contract
Mhm.
in Canadian, Mexican pesos.
Yes,
So after that's done, and it's been, the closings happen, is my payment fixed for 30 years in US dollars?
in the US and Canadian dollar, yes, will be in US dollars. But in the Mexican plan, we will take the exchange rate of the date that you do the payment.
Well, you have to pick a date for even the US and the Canadian, but you would do the closing date is what the date of the exchange rate is, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
The other thing is, you said 30, I'm sorry, I'm an old man. And I know I'm talking, hopefully everybody can hear me on the Zoom, but one of the things that offended me about Mexico, don't take it long, is that I'm 64 years old. Will you do a 30-year mortgage for me?
Well, it will.
Sorry, old
apply-
man, get out of the road.
Some rules will apply, and we have limits for some ages for the loans.
Sí.
So the limit age will be 65 years. You are applicable for a loan?
For 30 years.
No.
For a 1-year loan.
And that's what you call bucks.
How that applies will be the sum of the age plus the period of the loan
See,
needs to be 80 years.
80 years, yeah. I know. Was looking to see if this was something that, But your Mexican 9-year loan, you would do. with no
Yes,
problem.
yes, there will be no problem for that.
But, and just to let everybody know, in Mexico, a lot of times the rates are not fixed for 9 years. Normally, it's a 3 or 5 year fix
Oh,
and adjustable after that. So the 9 year is an unusual, it's almost like a 10-1 if you want to say that, but except that they don't amortize it over the rest, so you have to deal with that. But the benefit of that is you pay your loan off faster
yes.
and you get ownership quick, full ownership quicker that way.
Yeah, sometimes most of our customers ask for a longer term because you are used to have terms here
Yeah, 30 years.
30 years. So they tell 9 years it's like a short term, but it is an advantage because you own your property in 9 years or less than 9 years.
And the interest rate is not that different. It's 0.9 versus 11.
No,
So,
it is
but-
right
The Mexican
for
one,
Mexico.
the Mexican one, you don't get to write off your taxes. Can I write off on that loan, the first loan? Can I write off on my US taxes alone?
From your US taxes, I don't know.
Because you said on the 30-year loan, and I know because it's
yes,
in US dollars.
Because it's in US dollars,
Yeah.
but I am not pretty sure if you can apply these taxes in Mexican pesos
See.
right here.
The one thing I would point out, just as a broker that I am, you should consult your CPA or a tax attorney in both countries. Do not depend on the one in the US to be accurate on Mexican tax
Okay.
laws, and do not depend on the one in Mexico, even though he's my business partner, on US tax laws.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So obviously this is for foreign people from Mexico, but what if somebody has like dual citizenship and they have Mexican citizenship?
Wow.
Oh, that's great because we can apply like Mexican and that's a part that I will explain at the end. But if you're a Mexican, you don't need to ask for a fideicomiso or a trust.
See.
So
But
this
what
is
I think
a,
he was trying to ask, and I'm gonna go for the jugular, is the interest rate lower for
Yeah.
Mexicans?
no.
I love this.
No, this is the same interest rate for Mexican and for not Mexican.
Okay, so
The
there's the
same.
only benefit, maybe some costs involved in the fiat.
Closing
like,
costs.
so-
See,
Like the
about
closing costs, yes.
$3,000 roughly.
For the trust.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then obviously the peace of mind that the property's in your name instead of the fiat.
Correct, which that's not a big piece of mind, you don't need that. The fideicomisos are very good and very strong.
Yeah,
But what's an advantage of being dual citizen is you can get the American one, which is spread over 30 years, which is gonna lower your payment, that's gonna give you a better ROI.
oh, true.
So now you have to look at it the other, you are in a good position by being a dual citizen, because some of the other things you're gonna have problems with, like getting utilities turned on and other things. You're a Mexican citizen, you have a tax ID number, I call it that because I can't say the Mexican word or name of it.
Mhm.
You know, there's benefits to that.
Mm.
And I do apologize for people in the room, I didn't bring donuts today, sorry. It's a rough morning.
Okay.
Back on course.
Okay,
I do have granola bars, trying to be helpful.
So, next are the immediate delivery plans. We also have Mexican peso plan and US dollar plans.
Okay, this is for resales, when she says for a pre-construction, that is, they built it, finished it, maybe someone fell out of escrow, and you're jumping in to close right away.
Yes. So it can be resale or it can be a construction that it's new, but it's already done.
See.
It's already finished. In this case, we have the chance to finance up to the 80% of the property value. That is also very good because a lot of customers ask for a lower down payment. So in this case, we can finance up to 80% of the property value. We have up to 20-year terms. You can choose. This is not an obligation to have a 20-year term. If maybe you can a 10-year loan or a 15-year loan, it can be possible. The interest rate is 11.16%. And your monthly payments will be fixed during the whole loan. And in this Mexican plan, you have a life and a property insurance included in your monthly payment.
But that can change, because if the taxes go up, whatever your payment would change, because that's
insurance.
correct.
Oh, sorry, I didn't understand.
Hang on a second, Jeanette, I may need interpretation to make sure I'm clear. If, she said in this payment, the property tax and insurance is included. See, no, she knows that, I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm asking is, because she said it's fixed monthly payment,
Mhm.
but property taxes and insurance may change. That means the payment may increase because of that, not because of the loan.
No, in this case, the monthly payments are fixed during the whole loan.
So if my taxes go up, you're gonna pay the difference?
The taxes are fixed also. Yes, because in the monthly payment, you will have your taxes, you will have your property and your life insurance and the interest plus the capital. It is all included in your monthly payment.
So they don't raise taxes over there or?
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yes, you pay taxes for this loan, but they are included in the monthly payment.
But the taxes stay the same? They never
Yes.
go up?
No, are the same.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, so during the whole loan, your monthly payment will be the same.
And the life insurance is mandatory?
Yes, yes, in all Mexican banking and financial companies, the insurance is mandatory.
What if you have your own life insurance already?
You will need to cover this one.
Have life insurance.
now, let me ask this question, it's a good question you brought up, on the other two loans earlier. Because it doesn't include taxes and life insurance, can he get his own life insurance?
Yes.
They don't know.
You just have to name him as a
Mhm.
beneficiary. On the loans before this one, you can do your own life insurance.
In-
And you would name the bank as a beneficiary.
Okay.
Oh, so if you have a policy, they just want the bank as a beneficiary.
Right, because the bank wants to make sure they get their money back. They aren't stupid.
Okay. Okay, to be very clear in this part, all the Mexican pesos loans include the insurance of the property and the life insurance.
See,
So in this pre-construction plan in pesos, will be included also in your monthly payment, both insurances.
Okay.
In the US and Canadian plan, you can pay by yourself your property and life insurance.
Are they gonna require in the US plan life insurance? I knew they would. That
Yes, but you
question.
can choose the company that you want. Or if you have already a life insurance, we can use that.
Just have to add. them as
Yes.
beneficiary, because they'll be paid first before anybody else.
Yes, so in this Mexican peso plan, you have to cover your life and your property insurance that will be included in your monthly payment.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so we have also an US dollar and Canadian plan. In this in this plan, you can pay by yourself your property and your life insurance. There's no problem. In this plan, the down payment is 30%, so we can finance the 70% of the property value.
See.
The interest rate is lower, is 8.9%. And you can choose from 10 to 30 years in your term. We have also fixed monthly payments, and in this plan also can be deducted from your tax returns,
See.
the interest paid,
What-
because
what
it is a US dollar plan.
What is considered immediate delivery, like already constructed?
Already built or resales.
Yeah, we have a resale loan that applies for this.
Yes.
Instead of some numbers for also.
But on new construction, you mean, does it have to be where the, you know how the builders are? They finish things off, but then when someone falls out, they stop.
Yes.
So it would be done in 30 days. Would that fall under this program? Could I use this loan if it's gonna close in 30 days?
The loan will be applied until we have all the documents
Right.
of the property.
How long is that? I guess, let me rephrase the question, by the way, this is what you learned next.
Mhm.
How long does it take to do the process of a quick loan or immediate delivery loan?
For our process, it takes between 15 to 30 days to do the whole closing. And it is because of the trust that we need to do, because the fideicomiso, because for Mexican customers, we can do the closing in 10 days.
How about American?
Because of this trust, will be like 30 days, more or
Okay,
less.
so if there was a property that's gonna be finished in the next 30 days, you could put an offer into the builder, buy it, put down 30% because it's.
Ah,
yeah,
yes,
And close on time wouldn't be a problem. If it's 6 months to close, you would say no, because it's too far away from.
yes, because all the loans have like this term,
Yes,
and more or less they have between 3 and 4 months.
that's what we were trying to get after. That's what the information we wanted. So anything that's brand new that's about to be ready in 3 to 4 months, you could still use this loan on. Because I like this loan. I mean, everybody likes the interest rate a lot
Yeah.
better. And this is more of an American, and
Yeah.
30% is not bad, because normally we complain about 30%, because you saw the other one was 80,
Yeah,
but the builder's still been required to put down 30%.
yeah.
So it kind of falls into everybody's wheelhouse. This is a really good loan.
Okay, so,
Yeah, he had a problem with this one. Oh, he had a problem with this one. He's around there.
okay, so the advantages that we can find in this kind of loans is that you will have a fixed interest rate. The down payment can be as low as 20%. You can do prepayments without any penalty whenever you want. Also, you can choose between Mexican, US, or Canadian. You don't need to have Mexican residence or Mexican documents, as I told you before. And we are also open to the income verification of different kind of,
You're flexible.
yes. What are the requirements that we will ask your customers for this kind of loans? It is really not difficult, not different from the documents that a bank from here will ask.
It is, okay.
So first of all, we will need a passport, a birth and marriage certificate if they are married, an utility bill that can be from electricity, gas, or anything that they have. The last 6 bank account statements, it can be one bank or 2 or all the banks that they have. The last 6 months of their pay stubs, the tax return of the last 2 years, and finally, a credit report. It is needed to be a complete report like Equifax, TransUnion, or any credit agency that has the details of all the payments, including the total debt and the monthly payments. So these are all the documents that we will need from your customers so we can analyze them and get a result or a loan authorization, okay?
What about a self-employed person?
In this case, with the tax returns and the bank accounts.
Okay.
And finally, the closing services that are used when your customer doesn't need a financing for the property, they pay in cash. But if you need this help because maybe you are here in Vegas and your customers maybe are in another part of the world, but the property is in Riviera Maya or Cancun, we can help your customers with all the process that need to be done to sign the deeds or to have your own property. As you can see, there are a lot of things that need to be done, like searching the title, making the due diligence of the property, of the developer also, coordinating all the things or the processes that need to be done, like an appraisal of your property, coordinating also the notary, the property inspection, the trust that need to be done. If you need to, we can also coordinate the escrow. In some kind of loans, maybe are required some medical studies. It will be depending of some kind of situations that the financing company determines. But we can also help you with that. And if you need to open a Mexican account, we can also help with that. This is like a very, very brief explication of what is a trust and why do your customers need for a trust. So by legal politics of Mexico, you can, as a foreign customer, you are not able to buy a property near the shore, 50 kilometers, and near the border of Mexico. So this trust is like a legal figure that was created to help foreign customers buying a property through a Mexican bank who will be the trustee or will be the holder of this trust. But that doesn't mean that you are not the owner of the property. That means that this property will be administered by this Mexican bank. This trust has a 50-year term, and it can be renewed. So you can leave your property to your relatives, to the beneficiaries that you determine, and you will have also all the rights and all the obligations of this property.
Just like a US trust on a mortgage that we put on a property. That's basically what, even if you pay cash for it, that's what they created the fideicomiso as a additional trust to make sure that the Mexicans are protected.
That's right.
Michael,
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt. Can you speak up a little bit more?
sure, sorry, I was just saying that a fideicomiso is similar to a US trust. It's not anything that's unusual or to be really scared of. It's just, we use it when we tie a mortgage to a property. This situation is just because you're a foreign national to be able to own a property. There's nothing wrong with a fideicomiso. Fideicomiso are a legal instrument. It makes it actually stronger for the US or foreign national to own the property. It gives them rights. You do have to shop your fideicomiso, so just don't accept them. Have a Mexican attorney review the fideicomiso to make sure there's no provisions in there that could hurt you. I sat down with actually, I think Urban, with a outstanding attorneys.
Ontario.
Notario, in Cancun, your hometown. He was excellent, and he was explaining to us some of the little nuances that people just blanketly sign fideicomisos, not realizing that each bank has their own little variations. Like one, you may not be able to rent out the property, or two, you can't sell the property without the bank's approval. These are things that us as Americans would not want in the fideicomiso. And you can take them out. I mean, you have to talk to them, or you have to find another bank to host if they're saying they aren't willing to change their fideicomiso to fit what they are. So it's something that's just easy to be aware of, but I didn't know it until I sat down. I thought all fideicomisos, like in America, all trusts are the same, the paperwork, the mortgage trusts. Sorry, didn't mean to.
Okay, so this is like a timeline of the home financing. So first of all, you have to do the application of the financing. After that, you have to cover the initial payments that are administrative fees sometimes, or maybe the loan initiation fee, depending on every financing company. You can choose your property if you already haven't done that. Sometimes first you choose the property and then you look for the loan, but after that you can transfer the down payment to the seller or to the financing company, depending of the kind of loan that we have. After that, we will do the part of the documents. We will contact the seller to ask for all their documents. We do the due diligence and all the things that are need to be done. And the last and best part of all, enjoy the property, because you are now a homeowner in Mexico. So I don't know if you have any questions about that.
Before we start questions, I want to remind everybody on Zoom that this is being recorded, so stop taking pictures of the screen. You will have a copy of it.
I can share the
Is your presentation over, Bert? Then
Yes.
bring on the people on the screen so we can talk to them. So does anybody, I have lots of questions, but I'm gonna let you guys
I
ask.
have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Shiro.
Yes. Is it much of a problem to refinance or for an early payoff, prepayment penalties? So is that allowed? Is it common, or can it be done with how much difficulty?
Okay, in Mexico, this refinancing that you are used to have here is not possible in this kind of loans. This is not like a practice that we do in Mexico. But you can do prepayments without any penalty since the first month. This can be done
And did you say in the first month?
since the first month.
Oh, from the start.
After,
Yes.
after the first month,
Yeah, so
anytime after the
Michael, there's
first.
no prepayment penalties on any of our programs. So
Okay.
just to make you aware, but yeah, what she's saying is going around and finding someone else because you got a cheaper rate is probably going to be next to almost difficult. And there's no cash out refis.
That's
we do
correct.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Next. Wow. Quiet people. I like it.
Rob, no questions?
Yeah, I got a question on
Okay,
the
you almost made me think I was gonna talk, but.
on the 70% LTV, 9% interest option that you went over on your presentation. Does that also have the age restriction, so to speak? In other words, the 80-year maximum, is that like does that apply in this case?
Yes, for all the loans.
All the
applies
loans,
the
okay.
same rule, that
Okay.
the age of the customer plus the term of
So,
the maximum 80 years.
so I'm going to make things challenging. If you had a son who's 30 and I'm 60, how would that calculation be done? And we both want to be on the paperwork or on the title.
Yes, we need to consider your age to do this calculation of the long term.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
Are-
at 60, you're all right. When is it?
60,
If you
but-
Well,
have to-
yeah, but she said the maximum is 80, so I guess I'm
Yeah,
saying,
you can get the 20-year term.
Yeah.
okay, all right, no problem.
I thought you were 40, Rob.
What do you say, Bob? I can't hear you. I have one more question. I'm sorry to
ahead.
interrupt. Okay. The closing costs, what percentage generally of the financed amount is that? Or your closing services, not trying to pin you down, approximately what would that US dollar cost be to get this trust set up and all that in general, just an X to Y range?
Okay, this is a very good question. And the closing costs in Mexico are an approximate of 9% of the property value.
Yes, I can elaborate on that. I wouldn't recommend going based off a percentage because it varies based on the size of the property, if you're a foreigner or if you're not a foreigner, because you have to do extra paperwork.
Okay.
But for a mid-size, and I mean like under 300,000 property, I would say 7, 8, or 9% is accurate.
Okay.
And he's saying also it depends on how complicated you make your fideicomiso if it applies, because there are simple ones for like just your name only, or maybe just you and your son. But if you're getting more involved because you have a family trust back in the United States and all this other stuff, I've seen very complicated ones which run more money because the attorneys need to take more time to work with it.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know there was something else I'm going to ask you. I forgot what it was. It was about when you were talking about at the end. We talked about it takes to get all the paperwork, do all of that. Oh, so you went over the timeline.
Uh-huh.
Are there any fees upfront when they apply for a mortgage with you or anything like that?
Well, the only upfront fee that it will be depending of the financing company that we will use will be like the loan initiation fee.
Mhm.
This will be the only upfront fee that we will be asked for.
And that's non-refundable if they don't get the loan.
This fee will be only paid when you have the authorization of the loan.
So that's
So
what I'm going with.
before-
So it's before, once you get your approval, you have to pay that fee.
That's correct.
that's what I
Before
wanna
you
get
have
clear
your authorization, you don't have to pay anything.
Okay.
There's no payment in advance.
And how long is that approval good for with new construction? One of my problems with Cabo is they take 24 months to finish a project and they get approved 24 months earlier, and then COVID hits and now they're not qualified anymore.
Well, for the case of the pre-construction loans, you will have your approval in 10 days.
Right?
You sign your contracts of the loan.
Yeah.
And before you
Close.
sign your deeds or you close, we will ask for actualization of your documents. That means your bank statements and your credit report. And that will be the
What
only
happens if you
thing.
don't qualify because something happened during that
If
24
something
hours?
happened, it is a risk that you don't have this profile that the financing company asks, but we will do everything that is in our hands
Right.
to change that. For example, you can apply with another person.
Bring someone else on at that
Yes,
time.
so they can help in the part that you have any problem. For example, maybe this other person can help you with the income approval
See,
or with the credit score if you have problems with your credit score. So there are many ways that we can help you in this case.
and you brought up a very interesting point. What happens, because in here in America, we don't like keeping our jobs more than a month or two. We change jobs. So at the beginning of the process, when I signed up, I worked with ABC.
Mhm.
Now I work with DEF. As long as is it like in America underwriting where as long as it's the same field, the same work, it's okay?
No.
But if I became a stripper because I have such a hot body and I'm making more money or making more money than I was before, that won't happen. But I mean, I'm asking, this is actually a situation that happens here a lot. People change jobs because they want, even though they're changing careers. Yeah, they get a better, income over here.
Mhm.
Because one day they were an attorney, the next day they're a valet parking because they make more money valet than being an attorney. And that is a true story here.
Okay, in these cases, the financing companies ask a minimum of 3 months in your actual job.
Okay, that's the only requirement.
Mhm.
That's very, very good.
That's cool.
Any other questions for you guys before we move on to Robert's presentation? I do have one is, how do they get a hold of you, Jessica, besides calling Robert or Urban? Or
Can you help me with the last
last slide?
the last slide? So these are our contact.
Okay, she's gonna put up your contact information there. It's also gonna be on the video. Also, just to remind you, she lives in Cancun. That's 3 hours ahead of us. So if you call her at 4 o'clock and she doesn't answer, give her a break. Okay?
And I promise not to call you at 9 a.m.
Right, which is 6 a.m. our
Yeah.
time, Robert and others. Who was talking?
Yeah, so you can send us a WhatsApp message, you can call us, or you can send us an email or however.
So
you
I
want
see
to.
two different numbers. Is
Yeah.
this like one of these is an office number?
The second one is my number, the one that finished in 18, and the other number is of my partner, so you can go
What she's
whenever
saying
you want.
is, for you guys to hear that's having a hard time. This
By
is
the
a-
way, if you guys want to contact Jessica, make on WhatsApp, which is what we use a lot here in Mexico, even for business, make sure you add a +1 and then her number.
Plus
So
one,
it
998, yes.
Gotta get you more global. and work on it.
Yeah, sorry.
And do you have any other business cards besides the one I got?
Yes, I have.
Give me a business card because I know Janet.
And if any of you have any problems getting a hold of her, just reach out to me on
Yeah.
WhatsApp and I'll put you directly in contact with her.
Here you
Oh,
go.
thank you.
Relax.
And also just to let all of you know online, the way they do most of the business in Mexico is through WhatsApp, which is a very simple application you can download to your cell phone. They do contracts on WhatsApp, any communication, and Jessica's very, very good at responding very quickly to any questions you may have. So just make sure
Yes.
you have WhatsApp downloaded to your cell phone.
Okay.
Yes, everybody, I'm sorry, I meant +52 for Mexico.
Thank you.
Plus 52, yeah.
That was many years ago.
+52. For Americans is +1, but for
Yeah.
Mexico is +52 and then her number right there.
Okay,
Okay.
Thanks, Urban.
That's
So-
a question.
Yeah,
If somebody is, let's say somebody's already in contract and they've already like sent all their money and they're just waiting for the deal to close. Can you guys help someone like that too and still step in and do the loan and like refund the money back to the buyer, like, let's say if they've already sent like 90% of the cash for the price of the home and they're just waiting to close?
In this case, no, by this kind of loans, it is not possible to pay to your customer. So, what we can negotiate or we can try to negotiate is with the seller of the property, so they can return
Correct.
part
Get a
of the
refund on
payment.
building.
Yeah,
Yes, because the financing companies will pay directly to the seller.
yeah.
So that's a good way. I mean, I don't see a reason why, I shouldn't say that, but possibly there's no reason why a builder would not credit you at closing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, they won't do cash out and give it to you,
Yeah,
but it's just going a different circle to get to the same place.
yeah,
Mhm.
Because they're getting their money. That's all they care about.
right,
And
Yeah.
he can show the government he didn't get paid twice, so he doesn't get taxed twice.
yeah.
That's the only worry I could see the builder
Mhm.
having, is if I refund you your money. It's gonna look like I got paid twice, but I know I have a tax attorney as a partner, I can have him
Yes.
talk to them.
Yes, and not necessarily because the payment of the taxes will be asked for once they receive the complete payment of the
Right.
property and
That's what she-
and the deeds are signed. So maybe we can negotiate with the seller that they do the refund.
Okay.
All
I
right,
have
we're
a
gonna
question.
move to the next subject. Robert, you're,
One quick question.
Oh,
Oh,
I think,
sorry, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah,
Can you do the loans in Mexico in all areas of Mexico, all the different regions? I know some of them are a bit different.
yes, we can do it in every state of Mexico, not only in the Riviera Maya.
now that's very important because a lot
Yes.
of loan officers can't.
Oh, okay, no, we can do it.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. And if you have any question, if you have any customers, please contact me. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I put her number in the chat, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
And when I'm down in a couple weeks, we have to have lunch.
Matt, can you put up my presentation?
Yes, of course.
No,
Please.
I'll make you stand up there. All right, everybody. So the next part of the presentation is just now that you've learned that you can actually get loans in Mexico. Okay. I still highly recommend doing cash. It's easier. Don't take any offense, Jessica. But either way, you can do a loan or cash. My office is located in Cancun, but we mainly work out of Playa del Carmen. So we sell Tulum, Coba, Merida, because Robert just closed land in Merida. Great opportunity with working with land. Robert has a lot of different products. He likes to be diversified, drives me crazy. But so I'm gonna let Robert step up and talk about and you want to stay right where Matt is because that's where the camera is. Okay.
Oh, yeah, right there. Thank you. And then this one here, you just press the down button. Oh, there you go. It's just lagging for a second.
You ready, Robert?
There you go. Just press the down button.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, my name is Robert Vargas. Most of you already know myself and Irvin also, who works with us in Playa del Carmen. We've been focusing in Riviera Maya for the past several years. It's a very good and safe investment. I'm going to give you a little presentation on why and the benefits of purchasing in Mexico. Riviera Maya, so most of you do know, Riviera Maya, basically think of Cancun. You're directly across from Florida. It includes Tulum, Akumal, Playa del Carmen, Puerto Morelos, and Cancun. We also cover the Yucatan Peninsula, which is Merida, which offers the second safest city in all the Americas to go ahead and purchase. Benefits of living in Mexico. There's a lot of benefits, a lot of diverse economy, a lot of the locations, trade. There's a very large growing middle class there now. Labor is dirt cheap. There's a lot of trade agreements with various other countries. Mexico doesn't like getting into the hassles of the political BS that kind of goes on throughout the world. They're about making money and getting tourism there in their country. Property investments opportunity. It's attracting right now no less than 70% of tourism going there to purchase property in Mexico. They've got a lot of benefits. They're growing. Building is nonstop. They're expanding their building locations, and a lot of the new building locations, they're applying a lot of restrictions just to maintain the integrity of the infrastructures that are being put together there in Riviera Maya, especially near the beach, because they need to protect a lot of the mangroves and a lot of the nature there. Benefits, some of you have been there before. That's a beautiful picture.
No, not the warm climate.
Oh, warm
We're
climate.
freezing here in Vegas.
Yeah, unlike here in Vegas right now where we're freezing, very affordable cost of living. A lot of times it's 30 or 40% of what you're paying here in the United States. Healthcare is drastically improving. In places like Merida, Mexico, they've got very, very good hospitals there. Merida actually has a couple of hospitals that are in the top 8 in the world that are authorized to handle the healthcare of the President of the United States. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that does tell you that they are very high tech with their hospitals there. The culture is unbelievable. You have active lifestyle, swimming, snorkeling, whatever you want to do, cenotes, just a wide variety of things to do, as well as the cuisine is unbelievable. And it's a short flight from the United States. You can't beat that. Again, weather 70 to 80%, 80 degrees. I'm sure Irvin's enjoying it there right now, unlike here with us in Las Vegas. They do have rainy seasons, but when the rain comes, it's 15, 20 minutes and then it stops. So, and it clears up pretty quick. Humidity is mainly between May and October. A lot of dry seasons, November through April, but just expect it to be humid. Low cost of living, affordable housing there. You can get a place between 500 to 1500 USD, whether it's going to be just a studio rental or an actual home near the beach. Food and groceries are very inexpensive there also. A lot of you have Walmarts there locally. You even have Best Buy, Sam's Club, Home Depot. So you do have a lot of the American amenities there to go for. Outside dining, it's a wide range. You can eat where the locals eat, or you can be spending American prices on your food, but the food is second to none there in Riviera Maya. And they have a wide variety also. Healthcare, as I mentioned earlier, they're continually building hospitals and care centers there in Riviera Maya. They already understand, and the government plans ahead where they know they're getting a lot of retirees now moving to Riviera Maya for the cost of living. And so they also know that they have to get their healthcare up to par with what we have here in the United States. But again, it's still considerably a lot cheaper than what you're paying here in the US. And they do have health plans in Mexico that'll cover foreigners. The culture, as you can see by the pictures down below, there's so many things to do with the indigenous people there in Maya. They're very well known for their trading, their hospitality, their foods. They're just a very welcoming culture there. A lot of things to do with the pyramids, the ruins, food, anything you want there, it's available, especially since you're going to be really close to the beautiful Caribbean Sea. Lifestyle, whatever you want pretty much. You want to golf, beaches, cenotes, snorkeling, local events, vibrant nightlife there on Fifth Avenue, and plenty of excursions to do with their version of Disneyland there. It's in the jungle, Xcaret, Explore, Xel-Há, Savage, Census, and a lot of other things to do for the whole family. Proximity to the US, short flights. Flights are going nonstop, 24/7 into Riviera Maya. And just to inform most of you who don't know yet, Tulum International Airport is now operational, and flights are going to start leaving from the US, arriving in Tulum, I believe as early as the end of this month. Their local flights are already arriving in Tulum, Mexico. And you do have an international airport also in Merida, Mexico. And in addition to that, we have the brand new Mayan train, which is operational, connecting all of Riviera Maya together, along with Merida, which will save a lot of time. And they're projecting a 40% increase in tourism. So if you want to purchase any short-term rental properties in Riviera Maya, now is the time to do it. It's going to be high in demand. Hotspots for investment, we pretty much cover them all. Irvin and I are there pretty much always, whether you want to buy in Tulum, Playa del Carmen, Cancun, and Merida. Merida is a very good retirement community, colonial style. You're about 20 minutes from the ocean. We have lots for sale. You can build your custom built home in Merida. Again, second safest city in all the Americas. We've got developments in Cancun. Yes, 1 block from the beach. You can have your dream condo up to 3 bedrooms, even 4 bedrooms that Urban and I can help you with. Playa del Carmen. What more do I need to say? It's a beautiful place to stay, to live. A lot of tourism there, a lot of short-term rentals, very, very profitable, nice ROIs. And of course, everybody's favorite here in the United States and abroad is Tulum, which is continually to grow. And the time to invest is now. And just to kind of let most of you know, and a couple of you on this call who have purchased utilizing our assistance, the values of your properties are increasing between 30 to 40% by the time you get your keys. So there's a lot of investment opportunities there in Riviera Maya, Mexico. And if there's anything we can do to help, you can feel free to reach out to us. Here's an example of one that we have that's available. It's called Delaya in Tulum. Look at the size of this place. It's basically a resort. Plenty of things to do. It's not too far from the ocean, close to the main highway. A lot of things to do, tons of amenities, resort style living there in Tulum. They've got their own movie theater, full bars, full gym, beautiful greenery. And here's just a brief review on the process of purchasing property in Mexico. One, utilizing myself or Irvin, you find the right property. We're here to be of service in any way we can. You reserve your unit with as little as $1,000 up to $5,000. You do your due diligence for 15 days. After the 15 days, you say, Robert, Irvin, you know what? I want my reservation fee back. It comes back to you. If not, you move forward to sign your contract. At the time of signing your contract, they'll require a 30% deposit, which is, or more, which is non-refundable. But in some cases, it can be refundable. It's happened to us already. You contact a legal advisor, which in this case would be an attorney or notario. Make sure that the notario is an attorney, which we can also help you with. They'll help you set up your trust, all the closing documents, and you get your keys and take delivery, and you're off to either retire there or use it as a rental property. Again, my name is Robert Vargas, licensed realtor here in Las Vegas. I'll be back in Riviera Maya in about 10 days, and I'll be there for about 20 days. And I'm normally there once a month for about 10 days. And Irvin's there full time. So we're full service, one-stop shop. Anything anybody needs, feel free to reach out and don't hesitate. Thank you.
Any questions?
Did we lose everybody?
No,
Oh, everybody's still there.
Making Urban co-host.
Do you have anything to add, Irvin, to what I went over? Did I cover pretty
Well,
much most
Yeah,
everything?
he's got a little presentation himself.
As far as what Robert went over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Urban probably doesn't have much to add because Robert has done a very complete overlook. As Robert said, let's have to get over there, so I think the camera's scaring me. Keep doing that. As Robert said, that, you know, that you have quite a variety of places between Merida, which is very colonial, still near the water, but not on the water.
Yeah.
Then you have Cancun, which is a very city, urban, I would say, feel to
Yeah.
it. Great beaches. I mean, Cancun's beaches can't be touched.
Beautiful
Yeah,
beaches
see.
and party night, party life,
Yes,
very good restaurants also.
yes,
And you can go to the cenotes, that
Sí.
are very beautiful also.
cenotes are underground lakes or rivers, depending on the type of cenote it is. And it's something that's very unique to the Riviera Maya area. So I've been into quite a few. I have a cenote lover up there in the corner, which acts like a fish when he gets into a cenote. So if you come down to experience Playa del Carmen or the area, and you want to do a cenote trip, Irvin can arrange it for you. He hasn't gone through all of them yet. There's only like 500 of them or something like that. He's trying to. All right, so I'm gonna introduce Irvin. What Irvin is going to be talking to, actually, he's not going to be acting as Go Global Realty Mexico. He's gonna be talking to you from Ring Academy. Because I found it very hard to get my real estate license down in Mexico. Not because it's very hard, but because people would not give me the right information. So as I was on my journey to get my license, I decided to help other non-Spanish speaking people, and even they don't even Spanish speaking, because I have Irvin, which is bilingual. I have another agent, Alex, from another company that's bilingual, that also had difficulties because they're either Mexican American or Spanish but English American citizens, dual citizens, still had a hard time getting their license because they don't like to share information down there. So I decided to start hosting a class. I found an instructor that could teach it in English. He's a part of the government, he is licensed by the government to teach the course. And his name is Ricardo. And I've already had probably about 6 or 7 students go through the course. And I'm having another class in person down in Playa del Carmen on the 22nd of March. Oh, God, I said March. God, I'm having a bad day. 22nd of April, it's like 2 weeks from today. I still have a couple seats. Huh? Did I say April too?
Enero.
I don't drink, honestly, I don't morning drink, but I should start me.
Are you a Bills fan? Still
Yeah.
Hungover from yesterday?
Really?
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Thank you. Look at and put that in put the flyer in the thing. There's the flyer. It's 6:49. I have a couple seats left. You'd have to get your airplane tickets, your room reservations. We hold it at Apana, which is a Simca property down there because I love it. And they're a good builder. So that's the thing, but I'm also going to be launching online. And so stay tuned, like our, what's it called?
Social media.
No, Eventbrite.
Eventbrite.
They can follow our Eventbrite. So
Yes, they can.
So this is, by the way, Jeanette, this is the one that really makes everything happen on social media, please. I have a hard enough time working the phone. Okay, and she knows it. So if you're interested in the class, I'm gonna have Irvin explain everything about how to get your license in less than 10 minutes. Go, Irvin.
Hello, everybody. Yes, so the class is 6:49, as Michael said, and I think what Robert mentioned is pretty much on point. Let me share my screen really quick.
And by the way, while you're sharing his screen, anybody can get their real estate license down there. You don't have to be a real estate agent in the United States or Canada to, what do you want to do? See. Okay.
3, 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oopsies. No, you're good. So yeah, I think what Robert said is pretty much on point, and this is just a little video that shows you the area, not just Playa del Carmen, but you'll see right now. So action.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Yes, so as you see, it's a very vibrant city. There's a lot of tourism going on and a lot of retirees moving to the area. And not just retirees, there's many people buying their second homes or investment properties, as Robert mentioned. And that's why we're here right now. So yeah, the class is 6:49. It's for 5 days. And it's a pretty nice vacation for you guys. So
On start the movie. Yeah, there you go.
okay, so
when he said 5 days, I just want to clarify. 3 days is the course. You require 24 hours of education.
Yep.
For getting the matricular, sorry, I get it right. Thank you. That's why you're here. And anybody can do this, not just like I said, real estate agents. The fourth day is for taking your exam, and the problem is it's a one-on-one exam. It's 3 exams that you take.
Yeah.
Probably, what would you say, 3 hours or 4 hours total time with the examiner?
I would say around 3, 4, maybe.
Yeah, depending on how detailed you get. But by the way, one of the things I teach you down there, don't get detailed. All they want is the facts. Keep it to the point. Americans like to make things bigger than they are. Go ahead, Irvin. Irvin, did we lose you?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Having technical difficulties.
Ah.
Okay, but
Can you make it a little
yes, this is pretty much it. The goal is for you guys to get the matricula, of course, which is the complete license to practice real estate in Mexico. Like Michael said, is comprised of 2 things. First of all, is the certificate. And then after you get the certificate, after you've gone through the classes, you've gone your evaluation, we've built your portfolio of experience, which will help you do when you're in the class. After this part is done, then you can get your matricula finally. And then you're fully licensed to practice real estate, both federally and in your state, which would be Quintana Roo if you come to Riviera Maya.
But I do want to explain when he said federally, it is a federal license, but just like in the United States, you have to be licensed in each individual state. So you don't have to take the course over again in each state. You just have to apply for your matricular, and each state is slightly different on their requirements. Well,
Yes. So,
and America.
so after you're done with your certification, for example, you can go to another state and just do just submit all the paperwork again for that specific state, and you'll be licensed in that new state where you choose to have your matricula in. Now, the objectives of the class is, of course, learn the process of representing a seller or a buyer in Mexico, and you will learn things about like the notarios, what they do, who they are, why are they critical to a transaction, things about title, the fideicomisos, the trust, the taxes. Of course, we'll always recommend you to go to a CPA, somebody who's specialized in taxes in Mexico, but we can refer you to a few people. And the law, the disclosures that you have to give, kind of like a duty owed here in Mexico. And of course, you get to meet the beautiful town of Playa del Carmen, as I showed in the video. Now, these are some of the requirements for anybody who wants to get their matricula. But if you do it through us, through Ring Academy, you either, I mean, Michael, you want to explain this part?
Yes, I can take over this. The problem is not taking the class, passing it, doing all of that. What happens is the complication that comes in for someone that is not Mexican. By the way, we also offer the classes to Mexicans if they want to take in English now. We'll start offering classes in Spanish only as well. So some of my American Mexicans that like to do it in Spanish can have that option. But getting back to this, these are options. Option 1 is where you do everything on your own. After the 649 covers just the class and the certification. After that, there's extra fees, the state charges to process that. That's on your own. I think that runs what, about $200 or something like that, Irvin?
I think it's like 300, but
300.
they're bringing,
They had a special, now they
this,
don't, so it's probably 300, 350.
yeah,
That's
but they're planning,
go ahead.
they're planning to bring it down this year though.
Okay. So that'd be additional $300 on top of that 649. Okay, just I'd like to be honest and upfront. And it'll be in pesos because you're paying the Mexican government. You have to convert it. But option 1 is you do it on your own, your license. There is no broker's license in Mexico. It's just a real estate license. So you can open up your own business if you wanted to. You're on your own, all that. But to do that, you need to have what they call, I'll call it in America, a tax ID number. You guys call it something or other.
RFC.
Yeah, RFC. There we go. I think a Kentucky Fried Chicken might hear that, but whatever. So RFC, that's what you need to get, and that takes time to apply for, and you may not get it because you also then have to be a resident. And it can be a temporary residency or a long-term residency, okay? But you have to have all of that stuff, all these things to do that. That's fine. If you want to do that, great. We will help you. We aren't promising for 649. We'll get it for you because you have to do the work. And that price I can't cover doing all of the time and effort and all that stuff. All right. The second option is that you use my RFC and my Go Global Realty address. Okay. And then you sign it. My attorney partner has this great addendum design saying that you're using our stuff, but we aren't held liable. If you screw up or you do something wrong, it's your problem because it's your own company type of thing. Okay. Option 3 is you do the same thing, except that you work for Go Global Realty Mexico. You'll still have your own individual license, but I will be your broker and you'd work under us just like a traditional here and things like that. And option 4, believe it or not, welcome to Mexico. If you work for a Mexican real estate company, you don't need to be licensed because the company is licensed. Okay. But I will require you, if you do option 4 with me, to go through the course, the 649 course, because you need to know how to do business in Mexico without getting screwed up and getting me in trouble. I'd like to stay out of Mexican jail just like I like to stay out of American jail. That is why my business partner is a tax attorney. Okay, because I found out that's the biggest problem in Mexico. And by the way, with options 3 and 4, I have no problem with paying you here in the United States because like I have an agent that works for me that wants to be in the US, or two agents with me that like to be paid in the US because they're building their for retirement and everything else. So the money has to come in and be credited here, but they don't want to pay double taxes. There are ways to do it. I'm not a CPA or a tax attorney. I do have a partner that is. He could explain it to you much better than I could, but he does it for me as well. So I understand. So this is just to let you know there are options. Even if you went and got your matricular somewhere else, you could do option 3 and 4, 3. Option 3 if you want, because you already have a matricular. You don't need to work on it out. But say you don't want to have a license. It's too much work. Then you just take the course so you understand how to do business. You can now work with me, or you could just refer business to me and don't even have to worry about any of that. Actually, we'll go to Robert or Irvin or Rebecca that I have down there. So there's those options as well.
Can you explain the
Go ahead.
number 2 again?
Option 2.
Yeah.
Option 2 is where you go ahead and use my tax ID. You can go Global Realty Mexico's tax ID and our address, because these are requirements that the matricular require. Okay, but I would sign a release with you so you could be doing business on your own. I wouldn't be taking any commission or any what do you call it?
Transaction fee.
Anything.
Right, now you're gonna pay me a fee because you're using my, I'm stupid, but I ain't that dumb.
Like here, you pay a fee.
Right, but it'll be a separate fee just to cover the fact that you're using my address because the mail's coming there and the tax ID. Okay? So those are the, sorry, but those would be the options that you have available. Did I explain that well enough? Irvin?
You always do.
No,
Just
now
kidding.
I'm opening up the door now. Does anybody have any questions?
I've got one. In case somebody is a licensed agent here in the States,
Correct.
can they still work under Go Global, or is that
Yes.
a conflict of interest?
It is not a conflict of interest. It's just like a very good question, Robert. I'm surprised you came up with it. Not because I'm surprised that, but I thought he would already know the answer, is why I'm saying that. But, and he may have been saying this for everybody else on camera. But it's just like if you're working in California. I don't have a California broker's license. So if you want to be licensed in California, you have to hang it with another company. I have multiple agents here in Go Global Realty that have California licenses with other companies. Now, those other companies, say like Berkshire and Hathaway, though, because they're licensed in most states, won't let you come to them. You would have to pick a company that doesn't have a license here, so there's no conflict of interest or anything. You only can serve one master at a time. So good question though, Robert. And also, as I said, you don't have to be licensed in real estate to be able to have a Mexican real estate license. Now, Irvin referred to, and I'm stealing some of his thunder for the next slide. It is a requirement to have you have 3 closed transactions. Now, I'm not Jessica. I love Mexico. Do not take this as a dig. But how do you get 3 transactions unless you're licensed? Well, in Mexico, you can actually do real estate right now in Riviera Maya without having a license. In Cabo San Lucas or Baja, is that Baja Peninsula? Baja, you can't. Okay, so I still think it's funny to have law and you can't do it because none of the notarios, none of them will let that transaction go through. But as I found out, working with the Mexican government, that, well, if you're involved in it, you can get credit for it, even though you're not the agent thing. So you're saying it's a mentor type thing. They said, yeah, sort of, kind of. Welcome to Mexico. It's whatever they feel like that day to say. Just to let you know, though, as US real estate professionals, your transactions here count. So y'all have. You just have to provide 3 closing packages to send down, and it's just the HUD one when you're getting the commission to show that you were the agent involved and your duties are, they don't understand that is, but they see that you're on it. Okay. For instance, people that have bought property down in Mexico, you can count the purchase of your property as a transaction. Okay, because you're the one involved in it. They must want to make sure you understand the process. That's the whole thing. They just don't want you going out there, which is what I took to that apply to wherever they're at. You don't want to just go out and try to sell real estate on the street and not know what you're doing. Okay, but if you're going to say you're licensed, they want you to understand. Where are you at in your presentation, Urban?
That was it.
Oh, okay. The last thing I want to do, and Urban, add this onto the presentation. And by the way, Urban, for less than 10 minutes, that was a great change in the presentation.
Thank
What
you.
I want to tell everybody, and I'm talking to also, hopefully everybody online can hear me. I keep getting the microphones over there. Every year you have to renew your license in Mexico. And believe this or not, this is where I started almost falling off my chair laughing. They require 30 hours of continual education, but it only requires 24 hours to get your license. I know, don't try to compare to America. I will tell you, I took the course and I thought, oh, 24 hours, this is going to be easy. It's like going to, I'll leave the name of the company out. I almost said it by accident. Real estate school and, get through the class like that. It's a tough course for Americans and Canadians, not because it's complicated. It goes against everything that we do as far as doing business. And I don't mean bad. I mean, they keep it clean and simple. We complicate things a lot more. Okay. So I found it very educational, very refreshing to a point. Here's the other part I want to tell you. Your passing score has to be 96.65, Irvin, is that correct?
I think I'm not too sure. Either 95 or 97.
It's 96. It's 96 point. I don't know if it's 96.5 or 96.65. Okay, but it's the combination of the 3 exams. One, you're going to have a written exam. Second, you're going to have an oral exam. That's where most of the Americans and Canadians have a problem with. Not that it's fact, it doesn't have to be in Spanish. Okay, but they make it more difficult than what is. All they want to hear is you're covering all the points in a transaction, both in a buying set and both in a selling set. So that's probably where I find most Americans make their biggest mistake. They try to make it like a drama, sitcom, or what do you call it, novella, instead of just covering the points and getting to it. Okay. The third thing is you have to have a what's it called? Oops, go ahead. Who's asking? No, okay. Irvin, what's the third one called? It's the CMA, but they don't call it that. I lost Irvin too. Okay. He's muted. Yeah, he just doesn't know how to use it.
Sorry, you said the CMA?
Yeah, what's that called though? You guys don't call it a CMA. It's the third test.
The third test.
I think I've Americanized them too much.
Yeah, probably.
What it is while you're down there, you're learning because again, they do not, I'm giving you some extra part of the class, probably Ricardo will hit me for saying this, but they don't use sold because they have no way of seeing what the properties are sold like we do in America. They use current sales. So they do a CMA, a current market analysis for pricing the property, not
and for rentals.
Sorry?
And for rentals to back it up.
Rentals. You can bring rentals into that, which is, like I said, totally bizarre, but it is. To be able to set the price of the property. It's very interesting. It's not hard. You just have to learn to do things a little different. That's what it's so close. The fact that bothers you is this, you revert back to because you have things so hammered in your head. That's the only thing that can do it. So far, everybody's taken the course has passed. Okay. So those are the 3 things you need to do to be able to pass your exam. Then comes the hard part, okay? That's getting the paperwork together, as she pointed out in her presentation and Irvin's presentation of the documents that you need. And you can't, they don't want partial packages. You have to have everything together before you can submit. So the other timeline is after you take the course and you take your, and the course is one thing, and I'm getting, that 649, you're covering two things. You're covering the course and the exam. They're separate, okay? Well, after you take the exam, you know, the instructor tells you, you passed. They told me on an airplane when I'm coming back, you passed. They don't tell you right then, because they have to calculate everything, and he has to do this whole thing for the Mexican government, filling out the forms and all that. But then he tells you you pass. Then it's what, 60 days to get your certificate?
Around that, yes.
Yeah, 60 or under. Okay, depending if they're holidays. Like right now, mine's not coming in yet because of the holidays. Then you take that certificate and the documents that are required and put it all together in a package, which Ricardo will help you, my instructor, will help you get it done. So it's all done. And then you submit it to the government. And then it takes another 60 to 90 days before you get your license by email, which is really weird. So you get, but you know, it works. You'll get it. All right. And that's it. So what I'm saying, it's not like in Vegas where you can get your license in a month, you know, all approved. Then you have to wait for, and in that, by the way, I did miss one step, which is an easy one, is after you're done with the class and after you're done, you take your test, we'll run you down to the police station to have your background check. It's not like a US background check. It doesn't take, when you leave there, you'll have your background check done.
And you pass them?
Yeah, I haven't. Touche. The only reason I know, Robert, I'm gonna pass it because I had to do it to get my license for being a broker, or not broker, but a company owner. So my background was done then. So I know I'm not gonna be, you know, thing, but they just take your fingerprints and run it through the system. And that's it.
Yeah.
And they give you a report at the end. Do they do that for loan officers?
No.
There's no license for loan officers currently, though.
Yes.
There is?
yes, I
Oh,
have.
see,
Yeah.
yeah, see, I have a license, I like that. You need to put that in your portfolio, presentation. All right, is there any more questions? You have to unmute yourself and let me know, because I can't read little hands and all that crap. Well, thank you all for coming. I hope you learned something. We're going to be doing another presentation in the near future on how to buy in Mexico, totally different than about mortgages. It's about the whole buying process. So like our Eventbrite, or send Jeanette a text saying that you want to be put on our mailing list and all that stuff. That'll be a free class that'll be going on about that. And also with that, I will talk a little bit about difference about buying in your own name, buying in the Fideicomiso, because if they're in Mexico City, they can buy in their own name, you know, or Miguel Aliente.
San Miguel de Allende.
See,
Ah. okay.
Yeah. All right, greatly appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Hope you aren't in Vegas because it's bloody freezing here. He's in shorts, okay? This dude's in short sleeves and,
I should see Reno.
yeah, I know, but you're dressed for Reno, okay? So again, everybody, goodbye. Go ahead and end, and we're done.